It's about 5:45 in the morning. The thermometer on my car says 0 degrees. It's still dark. The surf's about chest high. This is living, mate! This is living! Hi, welcome to Big Guy Boards. I'm Scott. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the MATTA SSB. I'm really excited about this board. So in the video, you get to see a lot of the conditions I've been riding this board in. I've got some video of me actually surfing it, and then towards the end, I'll give a summary of what I think about the board. I see trees of green. I've just finished work. It's just getting light enough now to get a couple of hours in after work. Surf's looking all right. Probably chest high. Bit of wind, but not too much. Slightly offshore, maybe a little bit of south in it. I've just checked Croyd Beach. It's dead low tide at the moment, so I've just checked there, but it just gets so often there, especially at dead low, it just closes out, especially on quite a big tide. So I'm going to go over the hill to Woolacombe. There's a couple of spots there I want to check on the SSB again. So yeah, anything below head high really, that's the ideal board for it at the moment, and I'm really liking riding it. So I'll get over there and see how it looks. Right, it looks loads better here. It's clean, probably approaching head high. It's not closing out, so it looks really good. I'm just waiting for a mate. I'm going to meet a mate here, and then I've got the GoPro, so hopefully I'll get some GoPro footage and get a few waves.
Make her look cool. She's gonna run just to find the floor that makes her hide. When you look into her eyes, sun comes up, it makes her sigh. This devil's on the ride, a spare seat by your side. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's filthy when she's feeling moody.
Just got out. That was loads of fun. Me and Tom had a little peek to ourselves. Hi Tom. Hi Tom. Yeah, had it to ourselves for a while. Nice little right-handers coming through. Yeah, the board feels great. The board feels really good. So it's kind of, these are ideal conditions for it really. Just it's probably chest high. There's a couple of sets which are a bit better, but generally kind of chest high waves, and yeah, just so much fun, and it's just so easy to turn, so easy to do re-entries and come off the top. So I'll be really interested to see, you know, what it's like, how it compares to just the one step up from that. So more of a kind of pointy nosed kind of daily drive type of board. So I've got a feeling it'll be pretty similar to that, because it's just, you'd think with a width in the nose you wouldn't be able to flick it around as easy, but it's just so easy to turn but still so easy to ride. So I'm really impressed with it so far.
She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's filthy when she's feeling moody. She's such a beauty, but she's angry. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She stumbles to the door. She'll levitate tonight. She'll move till she feels right. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's filthy when she's feeling moody. She's such a beauty, but she's angry. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's filthy when she's feeling moody. She's such a beauty, but she's angry. She's just a junkie for the boogie.
Yeah, so it's just getting to the time of year now where the sun's just coming up early enough in the morning to get in for about an hour before work. Sun's up at about 6. Surf's not much to write home about really. It's only about 2 foot, chest high or so, if we're lucky. I'm on the SSB at the moment. I'm testing the SSB, so that's the part of the reason I'm going in really. I'm quite excited about that board, and I want to just keep riding it. It's a gravel board. It does exactly what you'd kind of expect from a gravel board really. It's good up to, you know, just a bit overhead. Super fast, really user friendly. And one thing I've really been surprised by actually is how easy it is to kind of do re-entries. It really wants to go for a lip and go not quite vertical for me, but you know, it's really the amount of re-entries I've done on it. It's just a really fun board. So hopefully there's a little wave and I can have a little paddle on it. We'll see how we go. The waves look pretty pitiful. I'm at a kind of a longboardy beach. It's got the most shelter this morning, but wow, there's one guy out, and I think it might just be doable on my SSB. There's not much to write home about really, not much going on. I'm here now, so I'm going to have a little paddle. I might even catch a wave, I don't know. I'm going to give it a go. She's feeling moody. She's such a beauty, but she's angry. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's just a junkie for the boogie. She's filthy when she's feeling moody. She's such a beauty, but she's angry. She's just a junkie for the boogie. smaller than I thought. Probably stomach high. That's usually the lowest limit for me. I'm usually on a longboard at that point. And to be fair, I'd have probably had more fun on a longboard, but I did get a couple of waves on the SSB, more than I would on other gravel boards that I've tried. So it shows me that it does go pretty well in pretty small junky waves. It's quite a weak wave even for UK as well, the wave I was on. So definitely in a more punchy wave of that size, it would go really well. So yeah, that's the first time I've ridden it in waves that small and weak before, and I was quite impressed. I didn't get any good waves, but I got down the line a couple of times, so overall really impressed. Dimensions 6'2", 21.56, 2.87. That comes out at 44.6 litres. So first of all, that's a bit up on my usual kind of volume. I usually go around 40, maybe a touch below for good waves, maybe around 42 for kind of gravel waves is my normal volume. But I had an opportunity to ride the 6'2", I thought I'd give it a go. And the first thing, it doesn't feel that high a volume board. You'll see I talk in the video quite a lot about the ability to go for the lip quite easily. So generally, from what I've found, if you have a wider nose and a kind of quite a wide tail block, it's more difficult to just bring the board around and flick it off the lip. So obviously the wider nose gives you kind of almost more swing weight in the nose, and the tail is just not as responsive. But I found on this, obviously it's not as responsive as a high performance shortboard, but it really surprised me, especially for the volume, how easy it was to turn. It's great on the open face as well. I've had it in some more solid waves. I'll talk about the range of conditions I've had it in, but in more solid waves, obviously making the drop with such a wide tail, it's, you know, you can't really, you have to really nurse the drop on overhead waves. But then on the open face, doing cutbacks and things, it just feels great on rail as well. So I was really impressed with that. So the conditions I've had it in, quite a big range of conditions. So as I said, the biggest waves I've had it in were bigger than I thought. One day I went to the reef from surfing and it was bigger than I thought. This is all I had. I was expecting kind of shoulder head high. It was overhead easily. And like I say, on the drop, I really felt like I had to nurse it, but that's kind of what you'd expect from this kind of board really. But then on the open face, it felt great. So it does have its upper limit, but again, you know, you don't generally get a gravel board to ride in bigger waves. But yeah, everything else, it feels really good. And what I found is, generally my go-to board is usually a kind of what some people call a step down, or a daily driver, or a high performance small wave board. That's usually the kind of board I'm riding in the UK. But I found this is almost matching the kind of level of performance you get from one of those kind of boards. Might be a few reasons for that. I think one thing with the Mattas I've noticed since I've started riding them is under the arm it just feels great, and I think that might be the relatively low thickness, but still at 2.87, that's still quite a thick board, but it still feels really good under the arm. And I've noticed that with the other board I'm on at the moment as well, the Driver XL. So it must just be the nicely kind of pinched down rails, just give it that extra little bit of performance, I think. So that's really impressed me. So yeah, it does all the things you'd expect from a gravel board. You know, it's got the wide nose for easy paddling and the wider tail block for kind of speed, maintaining and generating speed. But what I found, if you were going to compare this to a board, I'd say it's quite similar to a puddle jumper. I found the lower limit for a puddle jumper was probably chest high, but you see in the footage, I have this in probably, I'd say easily stomach high waves, maybe a bit less than that, and really weak as well. It's a really weak spot local to me called Saunton Beach, and you see in the footage I actually get this going down the line, which generally I really struggle with in small waves. If I'm on a shortboard, my lower limit is usually approaching more like chest rather than down to stomach, which doesn't seem like much, but it's a much less powerful wave. But I could actually get this moving in those conditions. And as I say, in the past I've really struggled with gravel boards, getting them in lesser waves. But this is got such a wide range. It goes really well in head height. I'd say a really weak wave, it probably goes well in a bit overhead. But as I say, you know, you don't want to be riding it in more solid waves than that, because it just doesn't feel good on the bottom turn. But yeah, it just feels, I think it's one of my favourite boards at the moment. This and the other Driver XL, which I'll review in a later video. I'm just loving the Mattas. I think it's just such a nice contrast between, obviously in previous videos I've ridden a lot of Lost boards because he was good at shaping high volume boards, but these feel absolutely amazing. Fins wise, so as with all my boards at the moment, unless it's for really solid waves, I'm using my Goliath XL fins. I only got this as a quad, but interestingly, I wish I'd have kind of got it as a 5 fin, because I think this would go quite nicely as a thruster in kind of chest head high-ish conditions. Just in its upper limit, I think it would be slightly more manoeuvrable. So what I found from this was, on the backhand, it just gets a bit stuck doing backhand turns. Not stuck as such, but it doesn't feel as loose and as free as you would be on a kind of more pointy nose shortboard. But I think if you had the thruster set up, I think sometimes a quad can get a bit sticky like that, especially on the backhand. So I'd really like to try it as a thruster. But yeah, overall, massively impressed. I think this is probably the best gravel board I've ridden. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to be using it all the time now. As I said in the video as well, I'd be really interested to compare this to a step down or daily drive, or whatever you'd call it, a small wave performance board. I think this would be so similar to that. It'll be tough to feel the difference. So I'm going to get one. I've got one on order now. One of Matta's performance shortboard, so that'll be a future video, maybe a comparison between the two. You can go direct to MATTA Surfboards, their website, to order customs or stock boards. We're also importing MATTA surfboards in quite high numbers, and that's to try and bring the import cost down. So if you order direct from us, it's going to cost you a similar price by the time you factored in import extras like fin boxes and a few other extras. By the time you factored all that in, we're almost at a similar price than if you go direct to them. So have a look, bigguyboards.com.